I need help. I'm either destroying my life or doing something for my mental well-being. Not sure if this should go here, but I really need help now. Ik what to do anymore. This will be a long one. Here it goes. I've been emotionally distant from my parents since as long as I can remember, the earliest memory being from 4th grade when we moved to a different city, and I barely bothered to tell them about anything that happened, and even if I did, it was super vague. All I talked to them about was studying and the occasional jokes or casual talk when I felt up to it. They've always immensely pressured me about getting the best grades and beating everyone, and telling me I'm a star child and that I'm somehow super smart and shit. More on that later. School was a breeze up till college, A-levels. We go to uni after that. I got really good grades with minimal studying, busted my ass off, and got great grades in O-levels too. The entire time I was fixated on getting A*S and whining like a bitch when I lost a couple marks. I was like those nerdy kids with nothing in their life apart from studying and video games. This perfectionism got into other aspects of my life too later on. The entire time the situation at my house wasn't exactly stable, and being super emotional as a child, it didn't work out very well. My dad had severe anger issues, screaming and punching / throwing open doors and flipping out for literally anything. He's gotten way better now. He hasn't had an episode like that in over a year. I really appreciate him for that, which left me shook because obviously going through that as a kid took its toll. That combined with the fact that we were doing good financially, but Dad couldn't manage his money at all, meant that I'd go to Mom for lunch money. She'd tell me to go to Dad, and sometimes when he was out of money mid-month, that'd result in another fit of rage, so anything related to money or anything that could piss my parents off I'd stay clear of. I'd shut myself in my room, turned off any devices, and stopped doing anything that I thought would piss him off, and pray that he wouldn't come into my room. This led to me dreading weekends because it'd mean another fight between my parents or Dad going berserk. I grew even more distant, barely talked unless necessary. I did sometimes because they are my parents after all. I still love them and need some emotional connection despite everything. And that's how it is till today. I avoided anything and everything that could cause that. Mom also made us adhere to severe screen time limits. An hour a day only on weekends, to the point where I used to wake up at 3 a.m. to hide and play games and pretend to be asleep when I heard her room's door opening. She took my tablet and later my phone away more times than I can count despite doing everything she asked for and getting the best grades. I got my devices so late that I started Clash of Clans 5 years after the hype and never got into Fortnite or anything because I had no console or PC to play with anyone. Not to say I want to play Fortnite, but it was ostracizing to say the least. This makes me have anxiety and panic attacks as soon as I hear someone coming towards my room. I immediately swipe to the home screen or Windows plus D my laptop and sit there listening. It doesn't matter who it is at this point. It's literally a physiological response. I also prefer staying alone and lock my room door a lot now. Dad has overcome his anger about 90% of the way, and I can see him trying to make things work on a daily basis. When it comes to my relationship with him, maybe I'm the because he tries and I keep pushing away at the slightest annoyance. His financial skills are still in the drain, but IDC at this point. How much can you expect someone to change? The anger going away alone makes up for it. He still has horrible time management though, which also led to a lot of arguments between my parents, but it's the least of my concerns. For this next part, let this be known that I'm an 18 years old guy in a levels college. Now my mom, on the other hand, I don't even know where to begin. She's always been after me for grades, but the difference between her and my dad is that while both go on about the being the best and beating everyone and the amount of competition, Dad will accept any grade I get as long as I try. Mom somehow knows that I can get the best, and if I don't, I didn't try hard enough. I mean, of course, if I spend every waking moment studying, I'll get all A's, but come on. Let me live a little and have a life. She has to know where I'm going and when I'll be back, and if I change plans or go somewhere without telling her, she gets pissed off and angry that I didn't ask for her permission. She doesn't give me her car for anything except when it's for her own convenience because, well, why? Maybe she thinks I'll crash or SMTH. Yes, I love speed, but I'm not an idiot. I also fear my parents enough to not do anything stupid and take immensely calculative risks. This coming from an 18-year-old sounds dumb. Yes, we're supposed to be doing stupid things, but nope. Not me. I've always been the mature and responsible one. As everyone puts it, God, I hate myself SM for this. So yeah.
I'm weird.
I'm now deliberately trying stupid things to actually live life, but all that childhood conditioning doesn't help much. Now back to my mom. She expects me to ask and tell her about everything. F***CK the car. I can't even walk over to my friend's house 15 minutes away without her going like, "How dare you go anywhere without telling me? You didn't even bother asking me for permission." I'm having my exams these days, and she had me sit down the other day to talk about something which turned out that she didn't like that I left the house for my exam without telling her goodbye or asking for her blessings. She's like a control freak. Then a week ago I had my exam in 3 hours, and she asked me to go run over to the store and get her some tea bags or some shit and drop off some clothes at the dry cleaner. I was revising for an exam I had in 3 hours, and she didn't care. When I told her I'll get it done after the exam and that I'm revising orange, she had the audacity to say, "OPLSSS, you can at least do this for your mother. She can drive to the store herself." She expected me to ditch studying, and when I get anything lower than an A, she'd make my life hell and get her tea bags. She did this twice. On 2 separate exam days after me clearly telling her why I can't. Then my parents want me back home by 11. I couldn't even go to the gym till January of this year. They think I'll hop on Trin or SMTH. They feel like everyone is out to get me at night, and that they want me home early because they can't sleep knowing something could happen to me. I have to fight so much to stay over at a friend's house late. Who cares if it's 11 p.m.? I'm at his house. You can ask his mom and he'll drop me home, because they never give me their car. He's much more socially developed and pretty street smart, so they trust him more than me, which pisses me off because they think I can't do anything without him, which is kind of my fault for bringing him along with me to places as a way to get around them not agreeing to me doing things alone. But now they want him to be with me anywhere they think is dangerous, especially when it involves their car, my mom more so than my dad. Reading that made me feel like a child TBH, but that's just it. They treat me like one. They're insanely overprotective and feel like they know what's best for me the whole time. They keep reminding me about things I already know I'm supposed to do to the point where I stop doing them to get back at him, like clearing the cat litter. Yes, it's childish, but how much am I supposed to put up with this? My mom also micromanages a lot to the point I have to tell her to shut up, not literally, else my dad will rip me apart, or to tell her to leave. Speaking of feeling like a child, on multiple occasions, my parents have started arguing like children, and I'm the one who has to solve the problem. We were going to my cousin's wedding the other day and had just gotten into the car in the parking lot when she started throwing a fit that her hair is messed up and she needs her hairbrush, which she forgot in the hotel room. I told her it looks fine and to forget it, quoting the same thing both of them have told me and my brother ever since we were kids: "No one's judging you." She tell my dad to stop the car and that she isn't going. They then argued for 30 seconds, after which I told them to continue acting like children, threw open the car door, ran up to the hotel room, got the brush, came back, and then we set off. And this is just one instance. I've done this on 2 other occasions already. Last week my mom's car was out of fuel, and I had an exam the next day, so I asked her for money. She told me she doesn't have any and to ask Dad. I did what she told me to. Dad's bank account was nearly empty, so I told him to forget it and that I'll pay and he can pay me back next month. He gave me the money anyways, and that was that. An hour later, Mom called me to her room and scolded me for asking Dad for money when I somehow knew that he had close to none, and that I should have paid for the fuel myself without asking them. Am I brain dead? Because WTF. You tell me to do something, then argue with me for doing what you told me to. Then when I reasoned with her, she started saying, "Yeah, you're always right. I'm the wrong one every time." So I just left with a sigh after telling her that she was being illogical. Now after all this, I'm tired of my parents and have been planning to move out ASAP because I'm losing my mind here. I have no independence at all no matter what I do, and they need control of every aspect of my life. I'm immensely self-motivated, need autonomy, and can't do anything with people micromanaging me or telling me what to do. I wonder where I got that from. It also doesn't help that in my country you can't work till you're 18 and the economy is so F***ed that minimum wage gets you absolutely nothing. Minors can't work. You can't work part-time either. And the requirements for jobs are absurd. Now the part where I'm confused about. Yesterday morning my mom and dad had a fight. Nothing new. I had just woken up and went to shower. By the time I got out they were seemingly done. I was with my friend at the mechanics when my dad texted me to come back home early and that we had to talk. Apart from stressing me out, this meant one of two things. He was pissed off about something and I was ked. Or two. Basically nothing off importance, and that he's doing this for no apparent reason. Turned out it was three. Family reconciliation. My parents talked it out in the morning successfully and decided that we weren't doing anything as a family now, and we don't communicate anymore, etc., etc. The end result was to decide on regular communication about things we don't like about each other, resolving issues and having dinner together every day. This was a really good step in a positive direction, but here's the issues. When I tried the same, mom didn't care, and dad said mom doesn't listen to her as much, shuts him out basically. So I dropped the idea, decided nothing I do is worth it, and cemented my idea to leave home. So when I say you guys don't care, but now that you've fought and had an epiphany, we're all suddenly a happy family again. This can't fix everything I've been through, and I cannot physically, mentally, or emotionally do certain things with you guys anymore no matter what we do. I have trust issues, I'm an emotional wreck, I have what I think is anxiety or something. I withdraw from people, and above all that, this doesn't fix things. It's a fix for sure, but what's done is done. I can't forgive that. Yes, maybe I'm the here again. Shutting down the idea of reconciliation, but I've had enough. I cannot and will not open up again. I cannot deal with that stuff again. It's kid me up enough. A part of me wants to go through with it and get that connection back that I've been longing for, but anything I do now will be turned against me, as it always has, and I'm not ready for more hurt. I'm confused because up until a day ago I was planning to leave, but now I can stay and have a semblance of a sort of normal family without the shitty stuff. When people say that they willingly spend time with their parents, I cannot even fathom that. Again, I get it. People aren't perfect, no family is. But when do you draw the line where you can't go back, or when enough is enough? I've told you guys about most of the issues, and while I'm no saint, I need some help regarding what to do now. Are my parents the ones to blame for me doing stuff like this? Or am I the one who's putting all of this on them? Should I go through with this reconciliation thing, or stick to my plan of getting out? Maybe I'm overacting and being too sensitive or something. Please help me with this. I never planned on posting about any of this, but after yesterday I just lost it. Now on to the next story, Story 2. My partner, 22M, and his girl best friend, 22F, are crossing some emotional boundaries. What should I do? Please help a girl out. History. My partner and I, 22F, have been in relationship for 4 years now. He has a trio of friends, him boy and one girl. This girl was a friend of mine in school, but not anymore. Ever since I got into relationship with my partner, she has been very weird. She purposely reminded me that she chose the first gift that I received from my partner. She showed me funny photos of him that she is back from school, which they shared with each other when we were not dating. When I was planning my partner's birthday, she lied about not being in town, which ruined the plan. And I didn't understand why she felt the need to take the attention for no reason. I never asked my partner to cut her off because they're school friends, and I never want to come in between that despite how she acts around me. I just maintained my distance after informing my discomfort with the partner. She is also in a relationship. A few days later I found out these two had been going to early foggy morning walks, and my partner never explicitly told me about them being alone. I noticed whenever he was with her he texted me less. I know they were not banging, but when he is with male friends he can't stop texting me about every little thing. After some time, when I got more paranoid about the situation, I went through their chats and found out that after him and I got into a relationship, they were reminiscing about sharing Hindi love lyrics as game and how stupid it was. He said, and I quote, "Don't show it to her," because both knew it was weird. My question was, why was there a need to hide it if it was just a joke? All of this made me feel like I was a crazy partner who takes everything out of context and is just insecure. The girl best friend in question would also frequently message my partner, "You've become boring with her," and she's slow. All this while she would act like she wanted to be good friends with me. As I found these chats, I confronted him, and he apologized and told me that his friend nor him meant to do anything. It was just in context and was just for fun. She sent him once a fantasy date she would like to have, and he would occasionally ask her to hang out with him, while he asks nobody out that specifically. Given the history back from school where everyone thought they were dating and how he hides things and neglects her weird behavior about me, it really made me insecure and conscious. My problem is with my partner, who himself does not draw any boundaries and just wants me to understand that they don't have any bad intentions. Present. Cut to this April. She was setting up a stall at night, and he went all the way to her city, traveling for 4 hours to spend an entire night helping her. What bothered me was initially he told me it will be a trio thing, and later as he sat in the bus he texted me, "No one else is coming," because a wedding came up for the other guy. I felt so disregarded by the lack of proper communication and weird last-minute changes, and just felt like he picked being a good friend to someone who was terrible to me over being a good boyfriend. I feel so lost and heartbroken because these situations are so confusing. There are no concrete boundaries crossed, but there is a feeling of repressed, stunted emotional affair here. He said he'll cut her off after this April incident. I feel disregarded and compromised by the lack of boundaries. Should I break up? Because it feels like if I don't and they stop talking, I will just become a villain in story because of whom they long for each other more, and no matter what they'll still find a way to talk behind my back. TLDR. An old friendship between a boy and girl on the verge of emotional affair. Already crossed some soft boundaries and feels like they're just not crossing anymore because they are currently in relationship. Should I break up or give him one last chance? Update. Thank you everyone for your advice and opinions on this. Getting validation on this situation really helped me. Felt like a weight had been lifted off my head and I wasn't just letting my bias take over my reason. We've taken a break, and I've asked him to figure out what does he want for his life. A friendship like that, or a relationship with boundaries.